Hello, welcome to the Texas Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. We are really excited to have you participating in this event tonight. We've got some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Andy, and I'm going to be your facilitator. Before we get started, though, just a few housekeeping announcements. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Now, this is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on our website too for more sessions later on. And lastly, this presentation is being recorded, and that recording will be available at strivescan.com/Texas. And now I'd like to turn things over to our first presenter, Alma College.
Hello, everyone. Hola a todos. My name is Gabriel Jesus Escobedo Gutierrez, but just call me Gabe or Gabriel. I'm going to share my screen with you so we can get started. So Alma College is a small private liberal arts college with about 1,450 students with an average class size of about 18. I can say that for certain because I actually teach here at Alma College as a professor. What that means is we have a very small ratio, so 12 to 1 student ratio, and we are NCAA D3 with about 29 different teams, including esports and dance. We have over 100 different clubs and organizations, and if there's something we don't have and you want, just make one, and I'll even be your advisor. Oh no, technical difficulties. What makes Alma unique is something called the Alma Commitment. It's going to be summarized in 3 parts. The first is on-time graduation guarantee. What that means is if you don't graduate on time per your major, it's no fault of your own, we are going to pay for an extra semester. How we do that is we make sure that you're enrolled in classes full-time, so that's 13 to 18 credit hours, but we also have the second part of the commitment, which is that planned academic and career guidance. What that means is you have a full team helping support you to get as much hands-on experience in your field as you want. Yes, every college has an advisor, but we're a little different, meaning that if there's something you really want to do, like maybe pre-med, well, we're going to get you to take classes in our local hospital or even use our cadaver lab. If you're interested in law school, well, we're going to get you experience with our award-winning Model UN program. And if we find any cool things like internships, externships, or maybe study abroad opportunities, we're going to help you. And that's the third part of the commitment called our venture grant, where you're guaranteed $2,500 to use for any off-campus experience you want. We have over 50 programs of study here at Alma College, and we have some really cool other outside programs, including our Model UN team, which look us up for a Jeopardy question. We have more awards than any other college in the country. We have an Acorn program, so if you're interested in STEM, you can get real hands-on research experience before even coming to college your first day of your first semester. We have a genetic engineering competition. We have an honors program. We have something called spring term. It's like our summer class. It's where a lot of students have the unique opportunity to travel around the world or maybe just take a really fun class they never even thought of. And this is, of course, including our free academic resources and tutorings for all students. So we are a 4-year residential college, meaning that you're required to live on campus all 4 years. Like I mentioned, a lot of our students, actually over half of our students are athletes. The exact amount is about 92 to 94% of our students are either in the athletics or the performing arts, which is great because there's so much to do here at Alma College in such a small town. You're probably thinking, ooh, private school, that's expensive. Well, you may be wrong about that because 100% of our students get some form of financial aid. That includes international, domestic, in-state, out-of-state, and regardless of your citizen status, you get a scholarship. And how we do that is based off your GPA. We do not need test scores. So depending on your GPA, you need 2.75 to be accepted to Alma, all the way up to a 4.0, you get these scholarships every year for 4 years. And if maybe your counselor or coach or teacher recommends Alma, you get another scholarship. We have a scholarship if you're an ethnic minority or a member of our LGBTQ community. We are not a private Christian college, but we welcome students of all different faiths to pursue their passion. So we have a religious scholarship. If you're interested in the performing arts or arts and design, we have scholarship for that. We have scholarship for STEM, and we have a scholarship for playing esports, video games here on campus. The admissions process is super easy. All you have to do is apply for free, either on our website or through the Common App, and send us your transcript. That's it. We're completely test optional. We pride ourselves on diversity inclusion, and there's a reason why I moved from Texas. Yes, that's right, I am from Texas, to Alma, Michigan, located right here in the middle of the state. It's because our passion for diversity and inclusion, making sure that all students have a sense of belonging on campus. Now, our outcomes are unique because 94% of our students are either employed in their field or in graduate school becoming what they want to be, such as med school, law school, and the like. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm going to put my information there, so you can feel free to email, call, or text me. Thank you all so much.
All right, thank you so much to Alma College. And next up, we've got Kalamazoo College.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rod Malcolm, and I am the Senior Associate Director of Admissions at Kalamazoo College. Now, like my associate, Kalamazoo College is a small private liberal arts school in Southwest Michigan, but we are one of the 100 oldest schools in the country, founded in 1833. We have roughly about 1,500 students from 38 states and 33 countries. A small school with about a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio, making you really a part of your own education. Students get to know their professors extremely well. We have about a 34% domestic students of color, and then you add in roughly about an 8 or 9% international student population, and making us a very diverse campus. Also a Division III athletics program. Kalamazoo College is located in the city of Kalamazoo, which is roughly halfway between Detroit and Chicago. We have a population of about 260,000 people in and around Kalamazoo, making it a really vibrant town and a great place to live. We have about 30,000 undergraduate students, making it a college town, actually, with 2 other higher ed institutions in the town of Kalamazoo. So there's a lot of things for students to do here in Kalamazoo, with opportunities not only on and off campus, but professionally, with 2 Fortune 500 companies located in Kalamazoo, the Stryker Corporation and Pfizer, just to name a couple. Now, talking about Kalamazoo College, we have to mention the K plan, which is basically the blueprint that students follow during their time here at K. The K plan has 4 distinct parts to it. The first part is the curriculum. It's an open curriculum where students get to choose a lot of what they study here at K along with their major. Students choose a major. They must be proficient in a world language. They have a requirement of a health and wellness and 2 shared passages, which is a writing course and a culture course. Those are all of the general education requirements here at K. Students choose the rest of their coursework. The second part of the K plan is a study abroad program. We think we do it differently here. About 75% of our students study abroad before graduation. Students can choose from 1, 2, or 3 academic terms away. And all of their scholarship is transferable to these sister institutions, so it doesn't cost any more money to study abroad. The third part of our K plan is experiential education. We feel as though you must have experiential education in your curriculum in order to be a really rounded student. You must do academically rigorous coursework, but cross the street and to see if it actually is working in real life. The fourth part of the K plan has to do with independent research. During your senior year, you must complete a thesis that has a faculty member that is going to facilitate this project with you one-on-one. You are going to do a written project, a performance piece, or an exhibit that shows that you can do a tangible piece of work before graduation. Timelines when you're talking about admission to school is very important. At Kalamazoo College, we have early action, regular, and early decision timelines. Please place very close attention to timelines. What are we looking at when we are looking for a student at K? Of course, what kind of grades, how challenging was your curriculum? We have required an essay. Also, we take a look at what kind of activities you've done outside the classroom. And 2 recommendation letters are required. Kalamazoo College is test optional, has been so for a long time. So test scores do not figure into the admission or the financial aid evaluation of a student. When it comes to financial aid, Kalamazoo College offers both need and merit-based scholarships. The merit-based scholarships that we automatically evaluate students for, it's called Lux Esto, and it ranges from $25,000 to $35,000 per year if you are admitted to Kalamazoo College. We also have an Enlightened Leadership Award as a merit-based scholarship for students that is based on the profile of a student coming in. All of those things that we look at for admission is figured into awarding those scholarships. And then need-based aid through the FAFSA form, the average is about $44,000 for students for the need-based aid. If you have more questions, please have some ready for us at the end of this. And thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
All right. Well, thank you so much to Kalamazoo College. And next up, we've got Macalester College.
All right, hello, everyone. My name is Veronica. I use she, her pronouns. Macalester is located in St. Paul, Minnesota, and one of the characteristics most unique about us is that we are one of very few liberal arts colleges located in an urban area. Our campus sits about 4 miles west of downtown St. Paul and 6 miles east of downtown Minneapolis. Although our student body is small with about 2,100 students, there are 3.5 million people in the Twin Cities metro area. Our students have access to over 200 internship sites within an 8-mile radius of campus. The international airport is about 5 miles away, so about a 15-minute car ride. And there are an array of Fortune 500 companies, including Target and 3M. The Twin Cities really do have a lot to offer. We have some of the biggest and most reputable medical and scientific research facilities in the region, a vibrant artistic scene, and the full cohort of professional sports organizations. Allianz Field, home to the Minnesota United FC, is within walking distance of campus. And I'm sure you've all heard of Lizzo at this point. She began her career right here in the Twin Cities. So as you can tell, the Twin Cities aren't just for jobs, internships, and research. They can really be a great outlet for exploring concerts, cultural organizations, art museums, restaurants, bike trails, everything else under the sun, or soon enough, the snow. We are a mission-driven institution, and we are grounded in our core values of academic excellence, internationalism, multiculturalism, and service to society. Generally, 35% of our US students identify as Black, Indigenous, or people of color, BIPOC for short, and in our incoming class last year, the class of 2024, that number went up to 41%, and we are constantly working hard to increase that number. Additionally, about 18% of our incoming MAC students will be their first in their families to earn a 4-year college degree. I did not update this slide, I apologize. And our LGBTQ+ community on campus is vibrant. We have a long-standing and enduring commitment to global citizenship that traces back to the mid-1900s and is represented by the fact that we've flown the UN flag on our central flagpole since 1950. Approximately 15% of our student body is international, and a quarter of our students hold citizenship of a country other than the United States. 98 different countries are represented on campus, and our students collectively speak 76 different languages. We do not require volunteer hours, but what's incredible is that our students really want to get involved in our community. 90% of recent Macalester graduates reported doing some kind of civic engagement work or volunteering during their time at MAC. In addition, we have about 192 community partners located within a 5-mile radius of campus, and 61 of our classes in over 20 departments have a civic engagement component. Our academics, our distribution requirements to the right, are ultimately rooted in preparing our graduates to live the mission of the college. And in the spirit of a liberal arts and sciences education, we do ask our students to dabble and take a little bit of everything, but we also require a second language fluency requirement and courses emphasizing both internationalism and US identities and differences, with the understanding that students in any course of study will leave Macalester more well-rounded, empathetic, and prepared to add value across a wide variety of platforms. We have 39 majors, 40 minors, 10 academic concentrations, and the academic concentrations highlight the unique interests of our students, faculty, and staff, and are interdisciplinary by design. Very quickly, some of our support programs on campus, typically led by the Leo Tatsuzuki Center and the Gender and Sexuality Resource Center within our Department of Multicultural Life. The identity collectives, they recognize the multiple and intersecting identities we all carry and the importance of a supportive community. We also have Bridges and Barriers that focuses on providing workshops and community events, especially for first generation students. We also offer POP workshops on topics of power, oppression, and privilege. Lastly, we are a common application school. It is totally free to apply to Macalester. We have different application rounds: early action, early decision, regular decision, QuestBridge. We are also permanently test optional, and we meet 100% of demonstrated need for all students, regardless of application round, academic interest, citizenship, or any other variable. I'll drop my information in the chat box, so please feel free to reach out with any questions.
Sorry, Andy, I think you were muted, and one of those problems we all have, huh?
Yep,
Well, my name is Aspen Arnold. I am here with Michigan State University, and to talk about our top 100 global university with top ranked academic programs, experiential learning opportunities, all offered on one of the most environmentally conscious and culturally diverse campuses in the nation. We're located in beautiful East Lansing, Michigan, which is a vibrant college town just a couple miles from the capital, Lansing, and an hour and a half outside of Detroit. With our central location, you won't have to travel far to visit Michigan's beaches, ski slopes, or metropolitan life and experience what Michiganders like to call pure Michigan. Our 5,000-acre park-like campus sits among countless restaurants, gardens, parks, hotels, and trails. Campus itself is home to botanical gardens, art museums, performing arts venues, Big Ten athletics, recreation sports facilities, and we even have our own hotel and conference center on our campus. At MSU, we like to think our size means access to big opportunities. There are almost 50,000 students studying at MSU from all 50 states and over 140 different countries. First generation students account for about 15% of that population, and about 27% is comprised of students from outside of the state of Michigan. MSU has a culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion, supporting the almost 9,000 students of color at our university. Again, we offer over 200 majors across 17 different degree granting colleges. When I work with Texas students, I often see y'all coming to MSU for the Eli Broad College of Business, our College of Engineering, or our College of Natural Sciences and their associated pre-health programs. You'll also find that our campus is home to a law school, as well as 3 other medical schools, including one of the top veterinary schools in the nation. Again, those are all on our campus in East Lansing. That's not to say that we don't excel in other programs. We have 38 majors that rank in the top 25 nationally. So things like supply chain management, packaging, game development, astrophysics, advertising, education. We're a top destination for students all across the academic spectrum. What I think is great about MSU is that whether you're completely undecided about your degree path, have already comfortably declared your major, or you fall somewhere in between, we're a place where I feel like you really can explore different academic paths. Again, I talk about these high-ranking programs that you can see on the screen here, but what makes MSU stand out to me is beyond those rankings, is really the fact that students can accommodate many different academic interests and create their own academic paths by exploring and experimenting across multiple different disciplines. That means that many of the students I work with are double majoring or taking classes outside of their academic department, which I think is really unique for us as a large public institution. There are many reasons that MSU students choose to study or that students choose to study at MSU beyond just those top-ranked academic programs. A few of those are listed here on the screen, but we are a top 25 destination for entrepreneurship. We've been ranked in the top 25 by the Princeton Review. That's a program for all of our undergraduate students to get business experiences. Of course, we're a tier 1 research institution with research being done in every single major and academic discipline on our campus. About 36% of our undergraduate students will get to participate in research while they're at MSU. Lastly, study abroad is something that we get lots of questions about. We have over 275 programs. Y'all as Texas students are going to automatically receive our presidential study abroad stipend. So a one-time scholarship to go towards that abroad program. And our students are successful. I know that by choosing to go to an out-of-state institution, your family's making an investment into your future. And we really believe that an MSU degree carries name recognition and is going to prepare you with a deep and broad knowledge that employers value. You can see some of the top companies, Fortune 500 companies that are recruiting our students, and you're going to have access to a centralized career service network as soon as you're admitted to Michigan State. All students will be automatically considered for scholarships at MSU. One thing I really want to point out here for you Texas students is the fact that 98% of incoming students from the state of Texas last year came with scholarships. And so we have a pretty lucrative out-of-state scholarship program. Again, you'll be automatically considered when you submit that application to MSU. Our application is live for seniors right now, and we do review students holistically. Most importantly here, I want to point out that we are test optional and we will remain test optional for at least the next 4 years. We're test optional when it comes to admissions, scholarships, as well as review for our honors college. And we're more than happy to have that conversation with you as an individual student as what serves you the best. Again, I think I'm just going to switch gears here and encourage you all to visit our campus, whether you're able to visit us in person or take advantage of one of the many different virtual programs that we have to offer. We would love to connect with you a little bit further. I'm also going to drop my information in the chat. So if you'd like to connect with me individually, I'd be more than happy to schedule a Zoom with you. Go green.
All right, thank you to Michigan State University. And next up, we have Northern Michigan University.
Hi, my name is Erica Greeley. I am from Northern Michigan University, and Northern is located in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We are right along the shores of Lake Superior. We celebrate all 4 seasons in Marquette, and our natural setting makes for amazing outdoor experiences, academic and recreational, all year round. Many of our students love the outdoors, but you definitely do not have to in order to thrive here. Marquette and Northern offer a safe, friendly, and welcoming community. So we are a mid-sized institution, so we're large enough where we have a lot of programs to choose from, a strong alumni network, we have connections around the world, nice facilities, but we're small enough where you have small class sizes and your professors know your name. So the average class size is around 28, average lab and seminar classes are around 15, and this gives your professors the ability to get to know you on a personal level. And those close relationships result in mentorship and guidance as you move through your experience at Northern and onto whatever you're going to do next, whether that's grad school or joining the professional world. We have over 177 different academic programs. So we have some popular programs related to our natural setting, like fisheries and wildlife management, environmental studies and sustainability, but also things like nursing, art and design, criminal justice, sports science. We have a large array of business programs, as well as medicinal plant chemistry, which is the first program of its kind in the US. But students get hands-on experience right away to help them figure out what they love so they can get more specific, or what they hate so they can pivot and do something else to the program that's the right fit. But you're working with real people in professional settings with real equipment and resources in the real world. But all of this is so that when you leave Northern, you're well prepared to take your next steps in grad school or your professional careers. So Northern is a welcoming space for students from all backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences. And we're an institution that really emphasizes access to higher education. So we have no test scores, no essays, and no letters of recommendation as part of the application. We have tons of first generation student college resources, and then as well as academic and emotional support. So support programming, tutoring, disability services, counseling, all of these things are there to facilitate student success. So your experience outside of the classroom is a really important piece of your college education. So when you feel connected and that you're contributing your experience and your perspective to your community, you're happier and you do better in the classroom. So I already mentioned that our students are outside all year round, but there's tons to experience indoors too. So we have over 300 student organizations. There's academic and non-academic. We have leadership programs, some that are credit bearing and come with a stipend. And then there are also community service and volunteer opportunities. So all of these things are a really big part of student identity at Northern. And there are also events that are happening on campus that are going to keep you busy as a spectator or a participant. So arts to athletics. We have esports, which is a varsity scholarship granting team, as well as football. So really, you name it. So let's talk about cost. This is an important piece for families when they're finding the right institution for them. So for our out-of-state students, our tuition and fees and room and board amount to around $29,300. The average financial aid package is around $12,300. And that can include things like our merit scholarships that bring that out-of-state tuition rate closer to in-state, as well as competitive scholarship opportunities, including our presidential scholars competition with awards ranging from $1,000 to a full ride. The deadline for this fall's competition is November 1st, is Monday. And then there's other free money opportunities too. So just things that require an additional application. I also want to mention that a laptop is included as part of tuition and fees with access to Northern's LTE network, our wireless network across the Upper Peninsula. So I don't think it's a secret that the world is at a pivotal point right now. So there's so much that's coming to the head in the US and all over the world. And you're all going to change this world and we need you to do it. And at Northern, we want to give you the tools to do so. And our alumni are out there making an impact, changing the world. We know you're going to do the same, and we want to help you make the biggest impact that you can. So we'd really love for you to come visit, learn more about us. We're offering virtual and on-campus visit opportunities. I can only talk about so much in 6 minutes here. So if any of this resonates with you, please come and check us out and experience this place for yourself, however you're able to do that. But you can scan the QR code here if you'd like to get some more information. But again, my name's Erica. I work with students from Texas, and my job is to help you through this process. So I'd love to hear from you.
All right, thank you, Northern Michigan University. And next up, we've got the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Rachel Tanner. I'm the National Recruitment Coordinator for the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities. We are the land-grant flagship institution for the Minnesota system campuses. So we're a large public institution, 900 student groups, 150 majors, Division I sports, Tier 1 research. We're located right in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So we're about a mile outside the downtown of Minneapolis. So you can see the main part of our campus here. 10 minutes one way on the train is the downtown of Minneapolis, but 20 minutes the other way is the downtown of St. Paul. So it's a Big Ten classic college experience, but in a major urban environment, nestled between Minnesota's two largest cities. So we work to bring breadth and depth academically to our students. We have 150 majors, 135 minors. You can even create your own major at Minnesota if you can't decide on just one, and as well as any graduate and professional programs. So if you're interested in law school, medical school, PT, OT, veterinary school, we do offer all of those on campus. We can start getting you the pre-advising, pre-health, pre-law advising you need to make sure you're on track academically, but also taking advantage of the other opportunities on campus, like volunteering, internships, study abroad programs, or doing some research. Being the research institution in the state of Minnesota, the Tier 1, and the majority of research happening in the state does happen right on our campus. So you can start doing that as early as your freshman year. Oftentimes in the first year, it looks like pairing up with faculty members that work alongside you. But in your second, third, and fourth year, you can actually submit your own research proposal. So there's a way in which you've always wanted to combine your interests, a question you've always wanted the answer to. You submit that to our undergraduate research opportunities program, and we'll give you the funding to do the research yourself. Now it's up to you how you spend your time and your money, and you've got a faculty advisor, but it's a really great thing to just help you dive a little bit further into what you're interested in, but put on your resume after you've graduated too. Despite our large size, we try to keep those class sizes small. 80% of all classes are 50 students or less. 65% of all classes are 30 students or less. So your major classes are going to look more like that 25 to 30 person mark. Big classes are generals. My biggest class was Psych 1001. So you want to make sure you have access to those. You can get through them and then get into your major more quickly. When you are in a large class like that, we're always going to pair with a discussion or labs. So that's a separate time of the week when you meet with only about 25 to 30 other students, not to learn anything new, but just go over what was taught in lecture. You always have the chance to ask questions or get help on something in a smaller group setting. When you apply to the University of Minnesota, you apply directly to one of our 8 freshman admitting colleges. We do this for a couple of reasons. The first is because we know we're a large school. So coming into a smaller community of scholars, surrounded, interested in some of the same things that you are, just helps make that transition from high school a little bit easier. We also do so you know you have access to the program that you came to Minnesota for. So if you want engineering, if you want to explore biological sciences, if you want nursing or architecture, we want to make sure we can start exposing you to those classes, make sure it's the right fit for you. If not, we can help you transfer around. But that way, hopefully figure it out sooner rather than later. The one exception to this is our direct entry nursing program. That is the only way to access a Bachelor of Science in Nursing is to apply into it for your first year. Our popular majors, do include the health sciences, so nursing, neuroscience, genetics, microbiology, or biomedical engineering. Frankly, anything in the engineering department is quite popular. Our School of Business has work clearance in the top 15 in the country. Our psychology program, animal science, sport management, things like that. But check out the major list, it is pretty extensive. Like a good big school, we have a lot of ways for y'all to get involved on campus. Through a student organization, there's over 900. So if you want to get involved professionally, based on your interests, your identity, your culture, if you want to connect with other folks who like sweatpants, the Sweatpants Wearing Club is also a nice way to do so. Intramural sports, BS Gopher Superfan. There's a lot of ways to find your community and make our campus feel a little bit smaller by finding your niche. And really connecting with other students in that capacity. We do have a number of cultural centers as well. So another great way to get involved. We have a massive study abroad program. We highly encourage all students to study abroad. In fact, our business school actually requires that you study abroad. So if you are interested, knowing that it's an option for you here in Minnesota, regardless of the major that you choose. Majority of our students choose to live on campus their first year. Despite being in a city, we are not a commuter school. We don't require, but typically about 90% of first year students want that on-campus experience. We have 12 residence halls to choose from. If you do want to start in a smaller community, we have over 35 living learning communities. So that might be for students interested in engineering. That might be for students going through their first Minnesota winter together as they're at home in Minnesota. We'll take you apple picking, ice skating, teach you hot dishes, some of those quintessential Midwest things. Being in a city does help our students professionally, certainly, as we do have 16 Fortune 500 companies in our backyard. The train that runs through campus really connects you to both downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul in a matter of minutes. So it's easy to go get a great internship, catch a baseball game, go to a concert. And Minneapolis, St. Paul are nice bite-sized cities. We're not a concrete jungle, but there's still plenty going on. It also does make us easy to get to as an out-of-state student. You can easily take a direct flight into Minneapolis, St. Paul, go downstairs, catch a light rail, and you can take the light rail to campus. Otherwise, it's about a 15-20 minute cab ride. Of course, considering value should be a huge part of your decision. We've been named a great value institution by a number of prints for a couple of reasons. The biggest ones are those numbers you see at the top there. 93% of our first year students come back their second year, which means we're a good fit academically, financially, and personally, which we're really excited about. We want to make sure our students are happy long-term, but we also want to make sure that they only stay for 4 years. So this number has actually gone up. We're now to 74% of our students get in and out in 4 years. All of our degrees are designed to get you in and out in 4 years. So as long as you maintain your academic success, we'll be all set to go. You can see our tuition and fees at the bottom. If you choose to apply, you're automatically considered for all scholarships. For out-of-state students, they range from $2,500, they go up to $15,000. That's each year for all 4 years, and they can be stacked. So an application is reviewed holistically. We just need an application form, $55 application fee, and then self-report your grades and courses. We are no test required for fall 2022, so still full consideration for admission, honors, and scholarships with or without a test form. The 3 deadlines you see here have equal consideration for all aspects of the review process. The only exception is the nursing programs. If you like nursing, be sure to apply by November 1st. That is all I have for you. I'll drop my contact information in the chat and then hand it back over to Andy. Thanks so much, y'all.
All right, thanks to the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. And that was actually our last presenter for today, but we have a little bit of time left. So I would like to invite all of our panelists to go ahead and turn their cameras back on as they're doing, so we can do a little bit of a Q&A here. So the first question I'd like to ask all of you is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we'll go ahead and start with Alma College again.
That's a great question. Honestly, just be open with your admissions rep. You met some incredible admissions representatives today. Just speak with us. You know, we're people, we understand, and we want to be able to help you because our goal isn't just to get you to our school, but to get you a place you're really confident and comfortable going to. So feel free to reach out to us, email us, call, text, whatever is the best fit for you as well as us. But yeah, just be open and ask questions.
All right. How about Kalamazoo College? Oh, you're still muted.
Okay, thanks.
That's all
Sorry
right. I
about
did it
that.
earlier, so.
I'm going to say some of the same things. Being open and flexible is definitely paramount. Ask lots of questions. And I would also add, start big. Start with a large list of schools and start to dwindle them down as you go. But keep an open mind too on those schools that are on your list. Don't sell yourself short and reach for a lot of schools.
I would say don't be afraid to ask any questions. Really, all questions are fair game, and don't feel like you're bothering us. It is really our job to answer your questions. So yeah, don't be shy.
Just to expand on what Veronica suggested, visit our campuses too and engage with each of our different institutions. I think obviously by watching tonight's session and attending this college fair, virtual college fair, you're already taking that initiative of getting involved and exposing yourself to different schools. But we'd love to see you come to our campuses, whether that's physically coming to our campus and getting to put your boots on the ground and experience what each of our schools has to offer. Or it's virtual. I think you guys are in a really great position to be able to experience a lot of different schools without having to travel or, miss class from high school. You guys can engage in some of the virtual programs. So take advantage of those different programs that are being offered by each of our institutions.
And I would say staying organized is important. So there's a lot of us covered scholarship opportunities that are available to students. A lot of them have deadlines. So we have funding available for students. We just need you to get there in time. So it's hard when students show up in the spring at our doorstep and say, hey, do you have any money? And we say, where were you months ago? So just kind of staying ahead of things and looking at when those deadlines are can help you really set yourself up for success.
I'll echo everybody's advice and just say, look outside the box. You might be surprised by some of the options that are out there. Do all the research and you might find that there are certain themes of institutions that really resonate with you. But don't be afraid as you all are looking out of state, look at big, small, everything in between until you find the one that's the right fit for you.
Great, a lot of great advice there. Also, what's one thing that you want students to remember about your school? So again, we'll start with Alma.
There's countless things I want you to remember about my school, as well as the other schools, but the biggest is there's a reason why I left Texas to come to Alma, Michigan with my family, and it's because they create a sense of belonging where not only I feel like I can become the person I want to be, but my students. So I'm also a professor at Alma, and I see the wonderful work, not just academically, but personally that the college builds for students, and they're really there to listen and help them.
I would add, and this is probably for all of our schools, is that college education is life-changing, and each of our campuses are going to bring some really unique things to students. So I would say experiential education here at Kalamazoo College. Not just the rigorous academic work, but experiential education. What else can you do? What kind of research can you do? What kind of, internships and outside of the classroom education can you gain? And those things are usually the things that you remember from college, is the outside of classroom experiences.
I would like you all to remember our location. We're really lucky to be a small liberal arts college in an urban area. So not only are you getting individualized attention from professors, being in small classes, like 16 students per class. You also have the ability to intern, conduct research, volunteer with so many different opportunities within the Twin Cities.
That's awesome. I think one of the things that I talked about during my presentation was about the lucrative scholarship opportunities at MSU. And so I think there's kind of this myth that going out of state to college is unattainable or too expensive, especially for Texas students that are so lucky to have such great institutions across their state and they're in their home state. But don't sell these out of state schools short. There are opportunities to really make out-of-state institutions more affordable. And Michigan State is one of those schools.
I would say at Northern that community service, volunteering, and leadership are all really built into the curriculum and the experience and are just a big part of student identity. So a lot of students tend to be drawn to Northern because of those opportunities.
I would say with Minnesota, I promise you're not going to freeze. I know with Texas, it's going to be a huge change for you. But I promise we can keep our students nice and warm. About 90% of our campus is connected by underground tunnels. We've got no sales tax on our clothing, so please buy your winter coat and your boots here. But I think I can speak for everyone. The full 4 seasons can be a lot of fun. So if you're interested, you're looking at some really great schools, so check it out.
Awesome. And Aspen kind of segued us into this question, but what is one myth that you'd like to debunk on the college admissions process?
Ooh, okay. So I have worked at big D1 schools, private schools, worked in the high schools. So I have a lot of experience. The biggest thing, there's a misconception that private schools are automatically more expensive than public schools, or that public schools are going to make you feel like just another number. Those aren't true. It really depends on the school and your fit. So what I would say is, like, one of the biggest myths is don't believe all the myths. Go and talk to the reps and see for yourself if they're true or not.
What I would like to say is, within the college process, for those schools that you're writing essays for, debunk the myth that essays are everything in the whole world. They are important, but they are not the makers and breakers of your college entrance. So definitely get help, have someone look at your essay, but don't think that it is going to be the one thing that is going to get you into college or the one thing that is going to keep you out of college.
Along those lines, it's not just about your grades and your test scores. Sure, they can be helpful, but having a B or a C in your transcript isn't going to give us an automatic deny. Like, that's not going to happen. It's so many different little pieces in the big puzzle that is your application that we're taking into consideration. So if there was a small decline in grades, it's not the end of the world.
I think just to expand on what I already shared about the cost of out-of-state institutions is just the opportunity for you all to explore schools that maybe you hadn't thought about previously. Again, this is one of the things that I love about the 6x6 format is that maybe you haven't heard about all the schools that are here tonight. You just heard of 1 or 2 of us, but you've gotten now exposed to 6 different institutions that maybe you hadn't heard of. And so continue to think outside the box. There's a good fit for everybody, and don't just listen to what your parents or your friends or your neighbors are encouraging you to do or where you're seeing them go. Really find what's the right fit for you.
And I would say you don't have to know exactly what it is that you're going to do when you go to college. That's part of the college experience, is taking classes, getting experience, finding out what you like, finding out what you don't like. And so if you're really not sure what you want to study, you probably don't want to go to a music conservatory where all they're going to study and focus on is music. So that's kind of a good thing. But if you're going to an institution that has a lot of options, then you can try things and kind of find the fit. So think about having options, but then also thinking about these other areas of the cost for you and your family, your connection to campus, location, kind of all of those other things as you start to narrow things down. But know that that's part of the university experience is figuring that out.
And I would just add, I think all of this plays into it, that you all have a lot of power, right? This is it. This whole journey is for you. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. And know that institutions are looking for a good fit on their end too. But take your time, find the right fit, ask lots of questions, but know that we're all here because of you, and we want to make sure that you're finding the right fit in the same way that we're looking for students that fit within our institution as well. But enjoy the journey as much as you can, and don't be afraid to take that power back a little bit, and know that once you've got your admission decisions, you can really take your time to explore and make sure that an institution is going to work for you as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, I do want to say thank you so much to all of our panelists here tonight for sharing information about their schools, answering some of these questions. But we are at the end of the session today. So I do also want to say thanks to all of you for joining us. When you do close this window, there is going to be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you could provide. Also encourage you to check back at the schedule, sign up for more sessions, because there is some more of the fair going on tonight. And again, you will be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/Texas. So thanks again, everyone, and have a good rest of the fair.